Hello and welcome to Blogger Everything, and welcome to what is a special video, a different video from what I usually would be uploading, I guess, in some way. Well, it's different because just of how much time it took to research this video and how much work had to go into the research for this video. And the reason why is because there's surprisingly very little information available on the man who I'll be talking about in this video. And just on like a side note to the intro, I found out about this man as I was watching a video on the DW YouTube page. DW, the German news agency, that DW, and they had a video where they were talking about why the German national team is so trash. And just as a by the way thing, they mentioned this one person who apparently had done some interesting work at FC Barcelona. And well, that just piqued my curiosity. I literally paused that video, haven't finished watching it up to now, and I went and I started doing research on Horst Wein. Now look, it's supposed to be pronounced Vine. I'm going to go between saying Vine and Vin during this video, so don't be put off by that too much, okay? Just accept it, roll with it. And also, please excuse the fact that there are not so many pictures of him in this, because again, for someone who did so much work at so many top clubs and so many top federations around the world, there is like very little high quality pictures of this dude. Seriously. So please bear with that. But aside from that, I hope that you enjoy this video. And if you do, please, hit like. I need those likes. Okay, that's it. Bye. Welcome to our journey through the life and legacy of Horst Wein, a visionary who revolutionized sports coaching and youth development. Today, we explore the story of a man whose ideas transcended the field hockey pitch and found a lasting home in the world of football and at FC Barcelona. Born in Hanover, Germany, Horst Wein's passion for sports was evident from a young age. His early life was marked by the post-war era's challenges, yet these formed the resilience and innovative spirit he would be known for. It was often said that Horst Wein was born with a hockey stick in one hand and a soccer ball in the other. Well, not literally, but one could understand why people said this about him, given his profound impact on both sports. Wein's journey from field hockey maestro to soccer's innovative sage is a tale of creativity, intelligence, and a dash of serendipity. A truly remarkable trek that saw him publish no less than 25 books in English, German, Spanish, Dutch, Italian, Japanese, and Russian. The American sports publisher Human Kinetics described Wein as perhaps the world's foremost mentor of football coaches, a statement to which the only varied response is facts. Mad facts. To fully understand how he became the godfather of football coaching, we'll first look at the genesis of his career in professional sports. Wein's journey in professional sports began on the hockey field, where he excelled as a player, becoming a much revered German international field hockey player. His talent for field hockey was cultivated from a very young age, as Chibi Horst could often be found with a branch in hand, dribbling smooth pebbles and scoring into imaginary goalposts. Where his contemporaries would have seen a football, Horst instead saw a field hockey ball. His thinking was just different like that. So it wasn't really a surprise that right from the jump in his hockey career, Wein dazzled on the field hockey pitch, playing with such flair that spectators often wondered if the ball was bewitched or if it was glued to his hockey stick. His transition from player to team coach was every bit as smooth as his on-field dribbles. As coach, he would then go on to lead Spain to their first European field hockey title and an Olympic silver medal in the same sport. This earned him the prestigious title of FIH Master Coach. FIH, by the way, is the International Field Hockey Federation or something like that. But Horst wasn't one to stay put in the world of hockey, as he smoothly dribbled his way into the world of football with the grace of a young Andres Iniesta in full flow. Well, I say that, but in actual fact, his transition to football wasn't as smooth as it could have been, or at least should have been. At the beginning of the 1980s, when he did make the switch to football as an instructor, he had hoped to bring along with him the concept of game intelligence that had brought him so much success and earned him the title of master coach in the world of field hockey. However, Horst found it tough going in Germany, as many of the footballing aficionado didn't take him seriously and instead scoffed at his suggestions and plans that to their ears were probably no more than the ramblings from a nerd or just, an obsessed stan. Hi there, it's intro me again, and I realized as I was chopping up and editing this video that I forgot to do one important thing, which is to actually define game intelligence. Like, what is game intelligence actually? And for us football fans, it's probably something that would be more familiar with a term like football IQ. Yeah, okay, so like it's not necessarily something, or it's not necessarily a concept that's limited to just football. So you can have that kind of football IQ for basketball, tennis, racquetball, Formula One, I guess, whatever sport that you have, you could have that, IQ for that as well. So that is what's referred to as game intelligence. It's basically an individual player's decision-making abilities and their capabilities to solve problems as they encounter them on the pitch. Their problem-solving characteristic, their problem-solving ability, in real time, as things are unfolding as they're playing the sport. Okay, so that's what we mean when we say game intelligence, right? It's going to come up a few more times, but just if it does, keep that in mind. Okay, that's going to be the last interruption, I hope. See you at the end of the video. Horst was a stubborn man, and being that he was every bit as stubborn as he was a visionary, it didn't take too long, despite all the denial, it didn't take too long before he would cross paths with another stubborn visionary who was just starting to lay the foundations for something that would transform the footballscape or the world of football for decades to come. That man was, of course, Johan Cruyff. The 1980s were a watershed moment for FC Barcelona, as Cruyff arrived in the penultimate season of the decade with plans to transform the club that had been a sleeping giant. In all honesty, Barcelona had been seriously terrible in some of the years during the 80s. The squad didn't look like a Barcelona squad. The football didn't look like football. So, in came Cruyff, and alongside his total football philosophy, he came with the idea to establish La Masia. La Masia was to be the academy that would supply his team with the players that would be well-versed and well-coached in the footballing tenets that he espoused, the total football stuff. So, encouraged by FC Barcelona and Johan Cruyff, Horst Wein brought his game intelligence approach to football. He developed a training model for children and young people, which took into account the way of thinking and playing that he initially developed as a field hockey coach. So, all that game intelligence stuff that he learned with all that field hockey, he now brought it to football, and he brought it to Barcelona. This collaboration with Cruyff is what took Horst's story from inspirational to legendary and revolutionary. It was as if in Cruyff and Barcelona's La Masia project, he had found a new spellbook with which he could cast his enchantments on the beautiful game. He introduced the concept of game intelligence to La Masia, his teachings and training philosophy that emphasized creativity and decision-making over rigid play patterns fit like a glove with Cruyff's vision, who desired to produce free-thinking and quick-acting players for him to implement his total football system at a high level. It was in this crucible of La Masia that Horst Wein's pièce de résistance which would transform football youth development, would be born. An age-appropriate development model which would later be immortalized as Football a la Medida del Niño, an official textbook written for the Spanish Football Federation that would become the standard for more than 2 decades. It would go on to be popularized via the moniker Funiño, which was made up of 2 words, fun and kids, because he ultimately, at the heart of it, wanted the kids to have fun as they played football because he believed this would give them the best environment in which to learn. So what exactly did this look like? Well, Funiño is a 4-goal 3 versus 3 game that is played on about an 1/8 portion of a football pitch as you would know it. This training format turned out to be like a magical potion for young players, enhancing their perception, decision making, and love for the game, because at the end of the day, remember, it was about these kids having fun. It was football, but not as it had been known before. It was football with a sprinkle of Horst's wizardry or madness, if you'd rather. The Funiño format is essentially football's answer to a jazz improvisation session. It's all about creativity, fluidity, and most importantly, it's about having fun. It was like taking the kids out of the tactical straitjacket of the 11 versus 11, full pitch format where they would barely see or touch the ball, and then just letting them run wild in the playground of their imagination, and by so doing, teaching them the art of game intelligence. Now, there's a whole lot more to Funiño, and I can get into this video here, but if you're curious, feel free to search it up on Google or YouTube, or check out the PDF I have linked in the description. It's honestly very interesting, and just generally, if you can get to read anything more than what I will talk about in this video about Horst Wein, then please go ahead and do so. I promise you will not be disappointed by any of his interviews if you are a tactics nerd. Moving on. The Funiño format was so effective that it played a pivotal role in turning FC Barcelona's youth academy into a conveyor belt of talent, churning out players who played with the wisdom of veterans and the enthusiasm of kids in a playground. Most importantly, churning out players with enough tactical intelligence and confidence to play Cruyff's total football. See, Cruyff's vision for Barca was beyond just his tenure at Barca, and similarly, Horst Wein's vision for La Masia was a vision that went beyond his tenure at Barcelona, which is why the two of them, linking up in the way that they did at the time that they did, and with Barca being in the state that it was in, to allow them to fully express their genius, it just ended up being this explosion of epic proportions. I don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words here. The phenomenal success Horst Wein experienced with Barca meant that he couldn't stay in Barca as long as Cruyff maybe did, as his ideas and knowledge were soon craved the world over, and he would eventually leave, going on to embark on a career that would see him consulting for top European teams and shaping the methodology that would influence generations to come. From the Spanish and the German and the English football federations to other, notable big name teams like Arsenal and Inter Milan, Horst Wein's Funiño was widely adopted and became something of a standard for coaching young players. On Valentine's Day of 2016, though, at the age of 75, Horst Wein sadly passed away, bringing to an end a football coaching career that had spanned the best part of 3 decades. A sad day in the world of FC Barcelona it was, and one that just 46 days later would see further sadness in the Culver's, as the man who trusted and believed in Horst Wein all those years ago, Johan Cruyff, would also pass on. And it's just It's ironic, really, that these two geniuses who, in my opinion, gave Barcelona the foundation for what identity and, history Barca has today, credit coming from La Masia and coming from Total Football. These are the two guys who engineered all of that. And the fact that they passed away not just in the same year, but, almost in the same month as well. It's weird. Just like Johan Cruyff, Horst Wein, in my opinion, is a club legend and an icon for FC Barcelona. He never scored any goals or lifted any trophies whilst wearing La Blaugrana, granted, but he shaped the minds and the futures of many stars and legends that would do exactly that. But even more than that, Horst Wein's legacy is not just in the titles and trophies that his methods helped to secure. It's actually in the smiles of children discovering their love for the game, in the intelligent play of teams across the globe, and in the enduring success of clubs like Barcelona, like Arsenal, clubs that have academies like La Masia, and of course, young players like Kubarsi and Jamal, who continue to be forged through a philosophy deeply rooted in Wein's teachings. So next time as you watch Gavi, Balde, Kubarsi, Yamal, or even Messi doing something breathtaking and amazing, remember that the true measure of success isn't just in winning, but it's in nurturing the love of the game for generations to come. And remember as well to say a big thank you to Horst Wein for showing all of us the way. Well, guys, that's pretty much that. You would not believe how difficult it was to find information on Horst Wein, despite how monumental he was to not just the world of football, but to FC Barcelona in particular. In fact, Barca's website has zero information on the guy, not even an article after he passed on, which I feel is not fitting. So if you're watching this and you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Let's get this video to do some numbers, and hopefully if we do that, then it can catch the attention of someone working at the club, and they can give this man the type of recognition that I feel he deserves. Even if it's just like, a little footnote in the history tab or the La Masia tab on the club's website. Honestly, I think it's criminal that I have to talk about him as Barcelona's forgotten legend. Well, welcome back. It's now outro me. And of course I know the outro technically has already been done, but this is those Marvel movie credits, that the post credit scene. This is the post credit scene. So yeah, thank you again for watching this. If you've watched this far, if not, I don't thank you. But on a serious note though, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of research that went into making this video. So, it would be nice if you do show some love. But also, I don't know, I'll try, maybe this could be a series of like forgotten legends or forgotten icons, because honestly, I still find it crazy to me that this man just basically doesn't exist in Barcelona's official history on their official website. It's crazy. But anywho, aside from all of that, thank you once again for tuning in. Do have a great day, and Forza Barca.